After 60, 97% of older women don't know these 5 psychological secrets about men after 60. Have you ever wondered why some moments of intimacy stay etched in your memory while others fade into the background? I used to think intimacy was simple, about chemistry, timing, or just attraction. But the more I paid attention, the more I realized something was missing from that definition. There's a hidden layer, a silent language in the way two people connect. It's this invisible thread that often determines whether the bond becomes unforgettable or forgettable. And here's the strange part. Most of us never stop to decode it. We experience the act, we enjoy the pleasure, but we rarely ask, what does this mean beyond the physical? This is where things get interesting. Hi, welcome back to my channel. It's Vernon again. In today's video, we're uncovering the 5 psychological secrets that most women don't know about men after 60. Because intimacy is not just about what bodies do, it's about what emotions are communicated in ways words can never capture. Make sure to subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Let's dive into the first psychological secret that most women don't know about men after 60 and how it can transform your understanding of relationships.
Number 1. The Respect Revolution. Why appreciation trumps love. As we age, intimacy evolves. And one of the most profound changes in relationships after 60 is the shift from a love-based connection to a respect-based connection. While love is still essential, it becomes appreciation and respect that take center stage in deep, meaningful intimacy. When we're younger, relationships are often driven by passion, physical attraction, and emotional highs. But as we age, we begin to realize that the foundation of a lasting connection isn't just about feeling loved, it's about feeling respected. And this is especially true in the later stages of life, when vulnerability, shared experiences, and mutual understanding become the bedrock of emotional intimacy. Research from Dr. Emerson Eggerichs reveals that men's self-esteem is more closely tied to feeling respected than feeling loved, and this becomes intensified after 60 when many traditional sources of respect, career authority, physical strength, financial providing, may be diminishing. These men have lived long enough to accumulate genuine wisdom and experience. They need to know that their partners see and value this accumulated competence rather than viewing them as diminished versions of their younger selves. This doesn't mean false praise or artificial deference. It means genuinely recognizing his expertise in areas where he truly is knowledgeable. Asking for his opinion on decisions that could benefit from his experience, and expressing appreciation for the wisdom he's gained through decades of living. When did you last ask for his advice rather than giving him yours? When did you last acknowledge his competence rather than his sweetness? Because this foundation of respect creates the emotional safety necessary for our next psychological secret.
Number 2. The competence complex. His secret need to feel useful. Carl Jung wrote, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." But for men over 60, this becoming often requires finding new ways to express competence and usefulness when their traditional roles have ended or diminished. Intimacy takes on new dimensions, and one of the most important aspects of emotional closeness in older relationships is understanding his need to feel useful. while it might not always be obvious, many men over 60 secretly crave competence in their relationships, the desire to feel like they are contributing, making a difference, and still have a purpose. For many years, men define themselves by their ability to provide, solve problems, and take care of others. But as we enter the later chapters of life, this role often shifts. Retirement, the empty nest syndrome, and the natural decline in physical abilities can leave many men feeling less relevant or disconnected from their sense of purpose. They might not say it out loud, but there's often a quiet fear of becoming a burden, of feeling that they no longer have something valuable to contribute to their partner or their family. The competence complex isn't about creating fake problems for him to solve. It's about genuinely recognizing areas where his knowledge, experience, or skills can contribute value to your life or relationship. Most men over 60 have decades of accumulated expertise in various areas: professional knowledge, practical skills, life wisdom, or specialized interests. Have you noticed that feeling useful enhances your connection with your partner? Comment below and share your thoughts. Your experiences might resonate with others navigating this phase of life. Recognizing his need to feel useful not only enhances his sense of self-worth, but also strengthens the emotional foundation of the relationship. This naturally leads us to another powerful aspect of intimacy, the role of shared experiences in deepening connection and fostering lasting love.
Number 3. The legacy longing. Why his past defines his future. For men over 60, this self-knowledge becomes inseparable from legacy consciousness. The deep need to feel that their life has mattered and will continue to matter beyond their physical presence. My friend Eleanor experienced this with James, a retired teacher. Their relationship felt pleasant but lacked depth. While James was kind and attentive, Eleanor couldn't access his true thoughts or inner life. Her breakthrough came when she shifted focus from future plans to his past, his accomplishments, challenges, and the wisdom he'd gained through years of teaching and personal growth. This isn't vanity or self-absorption. It's the psychological work of integrating a lifetime of experience into a coherent sense of meaning and value. Eleanor learned to approach James not as someone starting a new chapter, but as someone whose previous chapters were rich with wisdom, accomplishment, and hard-won insights. She became curious about his stories, his struggles, his victories, and his accumulated understanding of life. This curiosity created intimacy because it showed James that his life journey was valued and worthy of attention. The legacy longing isn't about flattery or false praise. It's about genuine interest in the full story of his life, the challenges he's overcome, the wisdom he's gained, the contributions he's made, and the meaning he's created through decades of living. When a woman shows authentic interest in honoring his life story, she becomes a witness to his legacy, rather than just a companion for his remaining years. This legacy isn't just about what a man has achieved, it's about how he sees his future in the context of his past. A man who has come to terms with his legacy feels more secure, wise, and ready to invest in a relationship that honors both the history he's lived and the future he wants to create. Now, we'll explore how shared experiences and a mutual vision for the future can further strengthen intimacy and create lasting fulfillment in relationships after 60.
Number 4.
The vulnerability paradox, when strength needs softness. For men over 60, this self-knowledge becomes inseparable from legacy consciousness, the deep need to feel that their life has mattered and will continue to matter beyond their physical presence. My friend Eleanor experienced this with James, a retired teacher. Their relationship felt pleasant, but lacked depth. While James was kind and attentive, Eleanor couldn't access his true thoughts or inner life. Her breakthrough came when she shifted focus from future plans to his past, his accomplishments, challenges, and the wisdom he'd gained through years of teaching and personal growth. This isn't vanity or self-absorption. It's the psychological work of integrating a lifetime of experience into a coherent sense of meaning and value. Eleanor learned to approach James not as someone starting a new chapter, but as someone whose previous chapters were rich with wisdom, accomplishment, and hard-won insights. She became curious about his stories, his struggles, his victories, and his accumulated understanding of life. This curiosity created intimacy because it showed James that his life journey was valued and worthy of attention. The legacy longing isn't about flattery or false praise. It's about genuine interest in the full story of his life, the challenges he has overcome, the wisdom he has gained, the contributions he has made, and the meaning he has created through decades of living. When a woman shows authentic interest in honoring his life story, she becomes a witness to his legacy rather than just a companion for his remaining years. This legacy isn't just about what a man has achieved, it's about how he sees his future in the context of his past. Do you believe that vulnerability enhances strength in relationships? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your perspective could help others embrace the power of emotional openness. A man who has come to terms with his legacy feels more secure, wise, and ready to invest in a relationship that honors both the history he has lived and the future he wants to create. Now we'll explore how shared experiences and a mutual vision for the future can further strengthen intimacy and create lasting fulfillment in relationships after 60.
Number 5. The time treasure. Why presence is his greatest gift. The years behind us and the years ahead are no longer infinite, which makes the gift of presence, of truly being there for someone, one of the most meaningful things a man can offer. After 60, many men are keenly aware of how quickly time slips away, and they begin to prioritize what matters most. Being present in a relationship isn't just about physical proximity. It's about giving undivided attention, listening deeply, and making the effort to connect in a way that shows you value the time you share together. For men, time is often tied to legacy and meaning. As life becomes more precious, they start to recognize that their most valuable offering is their presence, not just in the physical sense, but emotionally and mentally. The gift of being truly present communicates more than love. It communicates commitment, respect, and prioritization. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Time is like a river of passing events, and the current is swift. For men over 60, this awareness of time's preciousness transforms how they approach relationships, love, and the simple act of being present with another person. The time treasure isn't about doing less or being boring. It's about the quality of attention you bring to whatever you're doing together. Men over 60 often understand something that busy younger people miss. The most meaningful experiences aren't necessarily the most exciting ones. They're the ones where you're most present. Women who understand the power of presence, who don't need constant gestures or extravagant displays of affection to feel loved, will find that this type of connection is the deepest and most fulfilling. It's not about how much time is spent together, but how fully engaged and authentically present both partners are in those moments. The greatest gift you can give a man over 60 isn't your entertainment, your problem solving, or even your affection. It's your presence, your full, undivided, unrushed attention to the moment you're sharing together.
As we reach the end of our exploration, I want you to imagine something. What would change in your relationships if you approached the men in your life not as projects to improve or puzzles to solve, but as complex human beings whose psychology has been refined by decades of experience into something both deeper and more subtle than what you knew in younger years? The 5 psychological secrets we've explored, the respect revolution that values competence over cuteness, the competence complex that needs usefulness over entertainment, the legacy longing that honors the past while building the future, the vulnerability paradox that holds space for both strength and softness, and the time treasure that prioritizes presence over performance. These aren't manipulation techniques. They're invitations to see clearly and respond authentically to the men these decades of living have created. The male psychology after 60 is not a diminished version of younger male psychology. It's an evolved version. These men have learned things about life, love, meaning, and mortality that create needs and desires that are actually more sophisticated, more nuanced, and more worthy of respect than the simpler needs of youth. When you understand these psychological shifts, you're not just improving your romantic relationships, you're developing the wisdom to connect more deeply with all the important men in your life: sons, brothers, friends, colleagues. This understanding becomes a gift that enhances every significant relationship in your later years. So ask questions that honor his experience. Create opportunities that utilize his competence. Show interest in his story. Hold space for his complexity. Treasure the presence he offers. The love available to you after 60 isn't a consolation prize for missed youthful romance. It's the crown jewel of relationships, built on mutual wisdom, shared understanding of life's preciousness, and the deep satisfaction that comes from being truly seen and appreciated for who you've become through decades of growth. If you found this video valuable, make sure to hit that like button, share it with friends or family, and subscribe to the channel for more insights like this. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. This is Vernon. Thank you for joining me today, and see you next time.